We are the weirdos, mister.
Have you ever had a confluence of events so strong that you were like, I have to talk about this? Maybe. I do YouTube and Twitch, so I want to talk about everything, and I'm a creative person. And so today I want to talk about the confluence of events that really, really just my whole world. First of all, if you're new here, I am Audra. Welcome and or welcome back. And here I do whatever I want because this is a hobby and not a job. So I don't have to do what you'd want me to do. You're not my mom. Thank you. So I feel like it was maybe 2 or 3 days ago. I saw Khadijah and Bo put out a video.
Guys, some of you are making it weird.
Khadijah put out this video and it's called Parasocial Relationships Are Getting Out of Hand. And I was like, yes, let's speak on it, right? And also on Reddit, I saw a post about Miss Jackie Aina. And the reason that this is a confluence of powerful events is because it's about two powerful women who are both trying to exercise their right to be human beings, and people just won't let them. So the main point of Khadijah's video is talking about, is it Chapel Roan?
Yeah. Yep.
Chapel Roan has taken some heat because they do not want to be bothered by people when they're out and they're doing things and they're just living their lives.
Just answer my questions for a second. If you saw a random woman on the street, would you yell at her from the car window? Would you harass her in public? Would you go up to a random lady and say, can I get a photo with you? And she's like, no, what the fuck? And then you get mad at this random lady? Would you be offended if she says no to your time because she has her own time? Would you stalk her family? Would you follow her around? Would you try to dissect her life and bully her online? This is a lady you don't know. And she doesn't know you at all. Would you assume that she's a good person? Assume she's a bad person? Would you assume everything you read about her online is true? I'm a random bitch. You're a random bitch. Just think about that for a second, okay? I don't care that abuse and harassment, stalking, whatever, is a normal thing to do to people who are famous or a little famous, whatever. I don't care that it's normal. I don't care that this crazy type of behavior comes along with the job, the career, field I've chosen. That does not make it okay. That doesn't make it normal. It doesn't mean I want it. It doesn't mean that I like it. I don't want whatever the fuck you think you're supposed to be entitled to whenever you see a celebrity. I don't give a fuck if you think it's selfish of me to say no for a photo or for your time or for a hug. That's not normal. That's weird. It's weird how people think that you know a person just because you see them online or you listen to the art they make. That's fucking weird. I'm allowed to say no to creepy behavior.
They want to just enjoy themselves, as most people do. And I feel like we're once again entering into that realm where people feel like access via the internet means that they have access to that person whenever. When you see someone famous out, they're supposed to be gracious and take photos with you and do whatever you want. Who cares what they were doing? They have to stop their life to appease you. And I agree with her. Listen, I have been on this train for a very long time. I used to argue with my awful ex-husband about this all the time. Because I would be like, just because somebody is a celebrity doesn't mean that they actually signed on for you to bother them in their everyday life. I'm going to say that again. Just because someone signed on to become an actor, a singer, any kind of person, it does not mean that they signed on for that kind of behavior. I need people to get a grip. Like, I desperately need people to get a grip. The idea that just because someone is famous means that they have to cater to you and that you built them, and so they need to, is a wild, entitled behavior. We all have to calm down. The reality is, if for some weird, wild reason, I was randomly famous, it actually does make me nervous. Like, sometimes I get stressed out. Even at my teeny baby channel size, I sometimes get nervous that somebody recognizes me from social media and I get like flop sweat and nervous stress because I don't know how to interact with people in public. It's very awkward for me. Every day I interact with some of the same people because of my job. And then I don't know what to say even when it's like, oh, bye. You know what I mean? Like, somebody will be like, oh, bye, have a good day. And I'll be like, have a day. This idea that fame entitles you to be able to like get things from them is weird. You don't know them. And I know that there's going to be somebody who's going to come along and be like, you just did a video where you're talking about how Christy owes people. I didn't say she owes anybody something. I mean, I think she should stay where she stands. That's what I think. But if you don't believe that, that's fine. But she can do whatever she wants. At the end of the day, it is still her channel. So if she doesn't want to address it, she doesn't have to. If she wants to pretend like none of this is happening, she can. Because it's her channel. She can do whatever she wants. There's nothing I can do or you can do to like try to make her say whatever we need her to say, because at the very end of it all, this is her space. That is her space. She's created it for her. She can do what she wants. When celebrities are out in public, and I think that it really helped that I lived in Los Angeles for like 5 years. I went to college there. I went to USC. No, I didn't finish. Thank you. College wasn't for me and my ADHD brain. I'm just an artist and I just want to do arty things. I didn't know that I could create content back then, but same concept. I'm just an artist. I want to do art things, and I was spending a lot of money to realize like it's not going to happen by me graduating from this school. It could have, maybe, but I'm Black, so that's a different story. Anyways, the point still stands. I think that living in Los Angeles really helped me with this, because you were kind of regularly would run into celebrities. And I very quickly, maybe just because I'm an awkward sort of person, I very quickly realized that I didn't want to talk to them. What would I say? Like, oh my God. Like I saw Ethan Embry in the mall. I saw Austin. I don't know his last name, but he played Austin as well on Days of Our Lives. Rude guy. Very annoying. I was mean to him because that's who I am as a person. Because he was talking about some shoes and he's like, these shoes squeak. And I was like, maybe if you picked your feet up, they wouldn't squeak. And he was a little put off by that. Understandable. Don't care. I did it anyway. Because how are you going to be rude to these ladies working in this shoe store? Anyways. And I also saw Gary Sinise. He had Paso Kids. But the thing is, you realize these are just people living their lives, and it's relatively rude to interrupt their like daily life. Do you know what I mean? Like Gary Sinise and I made like, eye contact. He'll never remember me, but I will always remember this because he saw me recognize him. We had an eye conversation, like eye to eye. Like he saw me recognize him, and then with his eyes was like, don't say that in Gary Sinise. Like, don't do the thing. Relax. Don't do it. And I was like, I'm not going to do it. It's good to see you. And he was like, good to see you too. Thank you for enjoying my work. All of this was done with eyes, okay? I never was like, oh my God, Gary Sinise! I didn't do any of that, right? Like, I recognized that like he was just out enjoying his life with his family. And the way that people are reacting to Chapel Brown trying to like reclaim her space to be like, it's weird for y'all to do that to me in public, and being like, well, you signed up for this. That's weird. Like, I put it in the same category as what were you wearing? That's just me. You don't have to, but that's how I feel about it. Nobody asked for that. Now, there are people who want to be famous because they want that. And the people who want that cater to that very specifically. But also keep in mind that those people reserve the right to revoke access at any point in time. So that brings me to the confluence of events. Now, some of you may not know this. Some of you do. I love Reddit. I am a Reddit girly. I love to be on Reddit. I love to be in everybody's business. I like to look at what's happening on various Reddit forums, not just BGC. I'm in a Twitch Reddit. I'm in a YouTube Reddit. I'm in multiple different like Reddit threads and Reddit forums. I enjoy it. I have a nice time. And I saw a thread on BGC that was like Jackie Aina performative privacy. I need to tell y'all something about every time that Jackie Aina shows up on this forum. It's never really for anything that she's done per se that is actually problematic. There are 355 comments on this, and the majority of them are just aggressive. I'm not even going to call them microaggressive. I'm going to just call them aggressive because that's what they are. People like to post about Jackie and be nasty. So the whole thing was she's just mean. She stitched someone for talking about her blocking fans. She's always been out of touch and just unlikable. It's just weird going off on people for complimenting her for getting married since she changed her name online. I'm shocked at her behavior. So first and foremost, it doesn't matter if you think it's weird. It really doesn't, because this is like an extension of a lot of people's homes and spaces. This is an extension of my home, right? And as such, I reserve the right to keep the space exactly how I want it. I can, just like any of these people, revoke your access to my life at any point in time that I choose to. At any point in time. I could have told you all of this stuff about my dating life, and at any point in time, I can decide I no longer want to provide that access to you. And I don't know whether or not Jackie Aina is married, and I don't care because obviously she doesn't want to talk about it. But I remember why she stopped talking about him, because people online are ruthless, and people had started saying some really nasty shit regarding her relationship, how it started. Again, a lot of this was none of our business. It was literally none of our business. The extra shit that people started trying to say was going on in her relationship, none of our business. People just speculated. Don't know if any of that's true. I'm not here to verify that. I do not care because, again, none of my business. She very quickly pulled back on posting him and having him in videos and all of this kind of stuff. Why? Because people started acting a fool. People started acting a fool. There are many people on social media right now who do not post their significant others because of the way y'all act. Y'all come out of the woodwork telling people oh, that person is not pretty enough for you. They're ugly, just tearing somebody's significant other down. It is wild. Y'all lose your minds. The reason that this is, for me, the confluence of events is not even just the weird invasion of privacy, but also the aggressive way in which people post about Jackie Aina.
All the Jackie Aina posts in BGC just in the last year.
When I say that racism is alive and well, and systemic racism, and how people behave, and how white creators can get away with some shit and black creators cannot, this is what I'm talking about. Because yes, I do know that people will speculate about white creators, but if they don't say anything, people are just oh, you should respect their privacy. There's so many people defending the right for a white creator to pull back. Meanwhile, y'all use these posts about Jackie Aina to just talk about how she's mean. She can block you if she wants to. Based on how y'all are talking here, you deserve the block, bitch. You deserve the block. My favorite thing that y'all will say, especially when it comes to Jackie Aina, is y'all will literally go, she can't take constructive criticism. And as I have said multiple times, I will continue to say so, constructive criticism is not constructive if it's A, not asked for, and B, not from somebody you know. Otherwise, it's just criticism. Do you know her? I know people were tore up about the mic. She had a clicking camera. I think it was the autofocus. To this day, I maintain she didn't fix it on purpose because y'all wouldn't let it go. And she was just I don't have to dance for you. I don't have to dance for you. That's why she didn't fix it immediately, because y'all wouldn't stop complaining. And she was I don't have to do what you want. That's not what this space is about. She's never said that. I maintain that. And here's the thing, I'm not huge on watching Jackie Aina's content because it's just not for me, but I do pay attention to the way that y'all talk about her. I love that how many people will be oh, I stopped watching when she started blocking people who asked her why she was using her platform to encourage people to sign up for the army, LMAO, because she was in the army, because that's her life experience. And if you don't agree, or you're going to come in with some negative bullshit, because she can block you. That's why. She doesn't have to have a reason. None of us do. Do I love that people do fucked up things like Chrissy, allegedly, and then they block it? No. But I also will always maintain they reserve the right to do so. I don't have to agree with it, but they reserve the right to do so. I stopped following when she blocked me for liking a tweet that was jokingly criticizing her for taking a private jet. I didn't interact with her at all, just liked a tweet. That's enough, babes. You've already shown her that you're not really her peeps. So she does not actually have to keep having you around. I don't think that people understand that when you're a content creator, there's a few ways you can go. One of them is carefully cultivating the people who are allowed in your space. And the more that you do social media, the more that you recognize you do need to cultivate that space. It's one thing to have disagreements here and there. A whole other for you to be trying to act like I shouldn't exist and that my rights don't matter. Babes, I'm blocking you immediately. We're not even going to have a conversation. I'm not devil's advocating with fucking anybody because I am the devil. So what I'm trying to tell you is these comments, especially when people are trying to say she's blocking potential customers. No, she's not. You're not her customer. You wouldn't buy anything from her. Y'all would never buy anything from her. You say she's mean. You start saying that she's snotty. Y'all are always 1 second away from calling her an uppity Negro. I promise you that. One step away from calling her that. Because this same behavior is exhibited by multiple other white creators, and y'all do not post them like this. Every post that I've seen about Jackie Aina this year has literally just been a space for y'all to be mean. And what's funny to me about this is that typically BGC has a policy where they just don't allow creators to be posted because of bullying, but they never do that for Jackie. They still ain't done it for Jackie. I see y'all. because this isn't a scandal. Literally, this isn't a scandal. And then somebody says, I got blocked several years ago because I commented on the audio. So no, she blocked for no good reason. Any creator's reasons to block you don't have to make sense to you. Y'all are really becoming these like weird bullies. And it's not just here. This also applies to celebrities, chaperone, all of them. Y'all really act like people have to provide you access to them. And y'all are becoming these like weird 1980s style bullies when they will no longer allow you in their space. It's giving weird behavior. What I find very interesting is that the comments that were downvoted the most were from people quite literally like, y'all can't leave her alone. Because if you don't like her, if y'all don't enjoy her content, why are you interacting with her? That is a disease, and they're gonna have to study it at some point because this is on all social media. So many of y'all will follow and watch content, and this goes beyond hate watching. You're interacting with it so that you can hate it, which is weird. You need help. It's giving obsessed, because if she blocked you, why do you still care about her? 100%. If she blocked you, why do you care? Because y'all flock to these posts literally every single time Jackie Aina is brought up to talk about how y'all don't like her. Like, there's things that she's done, again, that I don't agree with, but literally, I don't follow her. I don't go watch what she's doing. I don't interact with her content because it's not for me. Like, I'm not a luxury babe, except for my skincare. Leave me alone. I just don't. I'm just not going to get into this. And like, it's funny because people are like, she stays so negative. I had to stop watching. The last few things I've actually seen of hers weren't negative at all. It's very weird. The way that you as viewers, yes, you do help to build these platforms, but after a while, it gets out of your hands. Brands continue to help build them. Sponsors continue to help build them. There's so many other reasons that people continue to get larger. And it's like these comments where it's like, she's always been a mean girl and extremely petty. She goes on blocking sprees and blockchain. Like, she is so bothered, all that money and success, and she still acts like an insecure middle school mean girl. The thing that kills me about this is, again, if I am cultivating a space where people should feel comfortable and fun, we are enjoying ourselves, we're having fun, I'm literally not going to keep putting up with it. Now, there are certain things for me, like I was glad that people actually brought up in the last video the music, because listen, summertime my hearing isn't great. I'm like suffering from like heat illness for most of summer. Once the temp starts going up and the humidity starts going up, I'm suffering from heat illness. I can't hear for shit. I can't do anything. Like, it's awful. Also, it helps me to figure out how to export these and work with my editor on how we'll adjust sound. Like, maybe I'll adjust the sound before I give it to the editor. And then that way, when I throw music in, big ups to my editor, by the way, who's editing this particular video. I love you.
I love you.
I love you.
Thank you.
I love you.
I love you.
Do I look fabulous?
Yep.
I do. Thanks. Going so far as to call her a narcissist, wild behavior, and of course, there's always the Rich Lives Matter cake that will never cease to amaze me. The way that y'all will come up with 1,000 excuses for a white creator. Oh, English isn't their first language. Oh, maybe they just don't understand this. Oh, they just moved to the US. And a black creator blocks y'all lose your fucking minds. Y'all act like she has done the absolute worst thing ever. And yes, the petty page thing, I'm aware of that. Shiesty. I did not like that. And that's why I have to say, like, I can like somebody and I can not also enjoy their content. Like, I'm always going to support black. So, like, y'all will call her unlikable, yet y'all were still out here by Jaclyn Hill's turn your neck green jewelry when she had her jewelry brand. She's an awful, trashy, miserable human. Never liked this broad, annoying as hell. She's bothered. I hate filters. So defensive. And the thing is, y'all don't really understand that even just like as a black creator or a creator of color or a queer, you have to have a very strong black hand, both things, but you do have to have a very strong block hand. One person actually commented, I feel like the only upvote they have is probably me or something, but they said, I really need you guys to get a grip. What is performative privacy? Who cares if her name changed and she's blocking you for mentioning it? We all have seen Jackie for over a decade, and we are surprised about how she chooses to run her page. These people owe us nothing, especially when a lot of fans are extremely judgmental. 1,000%. That part. And see, this is what I'm talking about when I say that, like, it's not even microaggressive, it is aggressive. Because somebody says that time she went off on white people and how we have no manners and won't say excuse me really disgusted me. Way to group an entire community based off one person and show us how you really feel about us. Narrative is getting old. I never watched her again after that, and I used to love her. No, you didn't. You liked it when she danced for you. You liked it when she did what you wanted. And just so you know, that is a phenomenon that many Black people and people of color experience. That when we are walking towards white people, many of y'all expect us to just get out of the way. Don't even act like we're human beings. Y'all act like it is our duty to move out of your way. Like literally every time. If you go all the way back to that tweet, there were a lot of people agreeing, because it's like, yeah, you got uncomfortable with that and you're like, I don't like her. And this is what I'm talking about when we say like allies are performative, allies pretend, because like right behind, right there, right behind you, you're just waiting. The one thing that we do that can be like, see, this is why I don't support Black people. Black people. Y'all don't understand that boundaries are boundaries. If she doesn't want to deal with y'all, she doesn't have to. And this was the one, this is my favorite comment, downvoted all to hell. It has since been fixed, and a lot of people came in and were like, this comment. I find these people who make these kinds of posts who clearly don't like Jackie super, super creepy. Like, it's so creepy. Why do these people feel so entitled to her private life? Why are you spending so much time on the socials of someone you clearly hate? Like, it's actually quite disturbing behavior. Then on top of that, they are on every single post about Jackie crying about being blocked by her over and over again. You don't know her. Stop being goofies and following her every move just to come on here and complain. Also, many of the posters here are racist and just trying to disguise that as she's mean, tacky, nasty, etc. Basically, any racist stereotype against Black women they can come up with. Just because Jackie doesn't fit into their very narrow worldview of how good Black women in online spaces should act by their standards. Love it. And that's what I'm talking about. Every single time someone posts, there's never anything about her in my recent memory that is something that she has done that is fucked up. And by that, I mean, she hasn't done anything nasty. She hasn't done anything against the law. No PDF file behavior. She's not really even clapping back in a way in which that particular person is getting called out. Like, she's just trying to like create her content and move on. Y'all won't let her be. All of this ties in together because, one, if you are hate watching someone to the point where you have to post every time they do something weird, I'm gonna need you to back up. I'm gonna need you to examine yourself as a human being.
I look like a jackass. Look at that.
Why does it bother you so much? Why do you care? If you think that celebrities in any way, shape, or form owe you anything, you are absolutely incorrect. Because you funded the come up, like by watching their videos, by subscribing, buying merch, like all of that. That's the reality, is we all fund the come ups of everybody. But after that, it really does shoot out of our hands. Like we can't do anything about it anymore, right? You're a part of bringing somebody up. You make people famous, you make people rich. Then you get mad and jealous that they are famous and rich. Then you especially get mad when they set boundaries with you, like they're not allowed to do that. Chapel Roan's allowed to do it. Katy Perry and her awful album, she's allowed to do it. Doja Cat can do it with her hanging out in weird Yahtzee chat rooms. Jackie Aina can do it, and it doesn't matter why they blocked you. They can block you for whatever reason they want. I can block you for whatever reason I want to, because this is my space. And I'm allowed to keep it the way I want to. This is an extension of my home. I will leave y'all with this. It's like, if someone came into your house and started ripping the wallpaper off your walls, started throwing your paintings around, moving all of your furniture around, you have every right to kick them out of your house. You don't have to let them stay there and be like, well, they might buy one of the blankets I make. No, you can be like, get the fuck out of my house. Everybody has that right. The truth is, when we are creators and artists outside of the space that we invite you into, you're not invited. If you see people out in public, it isn't a right to just like run up to them and be like, oh. You can acknowledge them. There's nothing wrong with that. And they acknowledge you. But you shouldn't feel like you have the right to have them take pictures with you because that's what you want. You shouldn't feel like you should have the right to be able to do a TikTok with them because that's what you want. Because if you're going to start talking about weird narcissist behavior, I feel like a lot of y'all on these Jackie Ina threads and whatnot, y'all need to start looking at yourselves, because you're watching somebody and then turning your feelings about them around on them to you. It's projection, babes. Like, you're gonna have to get some help, because this is weird. It's getting weird. And I'm very concerned, because I do know that at some point, if it's not already happening, there are going to be studies coming out about the people who do this kind of thing, where you're actively engaging in content that makes you mad. Like, why would you raise your blood pressure like that? Relax. Chill out. Listen, I have a TikTok for this. I'm going to read this. The racist white people get second chances because they apologize vaguely to their fans and not the people they hurt with their racism. 100% that, because y'all be out here accepting racist apologies. Y'all went out and accepted Shane Dawson's. I'm sorry. It wasn't you he was making fun of. Out there, Brooke, it's all right, Brooke. Everybody changes. No, that's not your apology to accept. I just need you to know that. Like, if I went over and I slapped you across the face and then I said I was sorry and the person next to you was like, it's okay, you've grown and changed, would you feel comfortable with that? Because that's what y'all are doing. Y'all are really out here accepting apologies not meant for you. It's wild. It's wild behavior. Need it to stop. Need y'all to grow up. And I really need BGC to actually start making a rule about Jackie Ina, because it's really giving just aggressive racism every time people post about her. She hasn't done anything. I'm so sorry. Her blocking somebody warranted 30 comments? Okay.
Sure, Jan.
355 comments. Her blocking somebody warranted that. Meanwhile, if I were to go in there right now with actual makeup, it's like, oh, I miss old Mac releases. 38 comments. 39 comments on some kind of Odin's Eye release. And believe you me, I see the way that y'all really just be eating up Black creators specifically. 355 comments so that y'all can just say everything but call her an uppity Negro. All right, whatever floats your boat, babes. Whatever floats your boat. So all of that to say, this confluence of events have taught me an amazing thing. And like Heather said, blocking people is part of mental health care. Like, so many people seem to think realistically, like, I'm doing something constructive, but you're not. You might think that, but you aren't. It's one of the reasons why I will always say, like, any person that I talk about, like, don't go over there, don't talk to her, don't tell her you're disappointed. She's already heard it and you're giving her engagement. So just stop. Like, it's not helping anything. So anyways, this large confluence of events have taught me that a lot of y'all do not understand and or respect boundaries, and you're gonna need to learn. And that's it. Hi, it's me. I would say editing me, but I certainly didn't edit this. And thanks to my patrons and channel members, I was able to have an editor in the description box below edit this piece for me so that I could continue my nightmarish daily life of working 12 hours a day for the post office. Anyways, wouldn't you know it, just as this video is rendered and about ready to go, D'Angelo Wallace dropped this video. And the reason that the video was dropped was because he has been doing a lot of lighthearted content on his second channel, and people were very upset that the video he did was about Starbucks and didn't include anything about Palestine. And I'm just going to say that once again, we as viewers, while we do want to know and hope that the creators that we watch have some of the same belief systems and values that we do, we also can't just constantly, when they're not talking about that particular subject, attack them for not having the wherewithal to talk about that particular issue in said video. Also, watch both of the videos. It's this video and this video. Go watch both of them. Highly recommend. The Starbucks video was literally about CEOs and the cost of coffee and finances, and had nothing to do with the boycott at the time. And he made that clear. And I just want to point out again that we personalities of the video variety do have lives outside of this. And I know that the world is on fire. I'm highly aware that the world is on fire. But man, sometimes I just, I get it. I have the privilege, because I'm not living in that situation, to step back. But I'm also aware that even the staunchest of advocates make sure to tell you that you do need to take breaks. You do need to step back. Like they say on an airplane, there's a reason that they tell you to put your mask on first, because you cannot help anyone else if you yourself cannot breathe and you are dying. So I just want to say, like, we're people. All of us are people. We're human beings, and we human. And that's all. Now that really is all. So anyways, free Palestine. That is all. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
I wish that the world was a safer place for black women, and I wish I could walk into any room and not be immediately assumed to be like this mean, horrible, terrible person who's plotting against everyone else, and I wish that I was understood immediately, and I wish that I could see myself in every single piece of media that I consume, but that's not the way that life is, and I wish that every single day, and I'm so tired. I'm so tired of being misunderstood as a black woman, for my passion and for my enthusiasm and for my feelings to be misconstrued and perceived as anger, or just relegated as anger, because that's the only kind of acceptable kind of emotion that you have in your mind for me to be able to express. I'm angry. Are you happy? I'm angry. But I'm also sad, and I'm hurt, and I'm pained, and I feel unseen and unappreciated frequently in the environments that we inhabit, and it needs to stop. I know this one video isn't gonna change all your minds, but let it make you think! Toodles! Toodaloo! Toodle-